What's up, beautiful people? It's your boy Ramon. Xbox One. Yes, finally. I felt like I've waited forever for this thing. The last few months between the reveal and the launch, my god, that felt like years. But before I get going, I just want to mention that this is the short review. There's the unabridged version, if you will. That'll be over at Ignorant Gamerz. It's about an hour long, where I go through feature by feature, very in-depth, very thorough, and still will be releasing features explained, where that longer video will be broken up into segments. So if you don't care to watch the whole thing, you can get to the part where you want to know about. But much shorter review here, sweet and to the point. The Xbox One. So I like to start out with the history part. Coming off the success of the 360, Microsoft had their reveal and people were disappointed. All they took away from that was TV. People were confused. They didn't know what the hell this thing was about. There was a bunch of questions with the always online, the DRM thing, and Sony came in and capitalized. So it was a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. There was no faith. Then E3 came in. Microsoft had a lot to show and prove. They did what they could. Sony put the boot in the back of their neck still. And then launch came. And it was interesting to see that out of the two, Microsoft definitely had the stronger launch in terms of reliability, in terms of the games offered, and in terms of just next gen innovation. And it was really satisfying to see, because it's tough to remove yourself from the noise. Even if you know what you know, you get that feeling that, like, wait, everyone in the world can't be wrong. You get what I mean? So it was satisfying for me to finally get my hands on this thing and really put a lot of these features to use. So I mean, the hardware, I really don't care to talk about the hardware. It's a mid-tier PC when it's all said and done. I don't think that's a big deal. If you care about hardware, then you'll get your ass a PC. The design, some people say it looks like a VCR. It is a very uninspiring design. It really isn't the best thing you've ever seen. But in terms of blending in with the rest of your living room, the boring shit in your living room, it'll do just fine. And I'm just one of those people who don't care what shit looks like unless it's a tablet. If I'm walking around with it every day, if I'm leaving the house and walking around, then fine. It's got to look good. But if this thing sits on an entertainment center collecting dust, I hardly touch it, especially when I don't even put discs in it anymore. Everything's digitally. I don't care what this thing looks like. The only time I'm moving it is if it breaks, and it better not break, or I will be calling Microsoft with the fury. So yeah, there's that. The controller gets a nice redesign. I really love the new controller. It's more of some much needed iterations from the Xbox 360. So the bumpers are a lot more comfortable to use, depending on how you hold the controller. For me, they're a lot more comfortable. The triggers feel really nice. They got this two-dimensional feel to them. Really comfortable for longer hours. The thumbsticks are a little smaller now, but they have more grip and they're a little taller, more accurate. There's a real D-pad now. They did some work to that. They replaced the start and back button. I don't know what the hell they call them now, but it's still a start and a back button if you ask me. Still requires AA batteries. Well, it comes with AA batteries, but you can order the, what's it called, a plug and charge kit, and that puts a battery in there for you, and it charges micro USB, which is a good thing. I really like the controller, and shout out to the rumble features, where the triggers actually have some rumble, and the entire rumble experience and the control has been refined. So it's a really great feeling controller. I've logged a lot of hours with it now, and it is more comfortable than an Xbox 360 controller to me, and it is a lot better. So I think that's something, when you're talking game systems, that's very important. I think a lot of people appreciate that. Now, in terms of software, this is where Microsoft really made a lot of the magic happen. So they wanted your console to be a lot more than one thing, and or do one thing at a time. So they went to these elaborate lengths to come up with this multitasking process and how this is handled. So it's actually 3 different OSs. It's a Windows 8 core, it's whatever the Xbox is running, and it's some sort of Hyper-V fusion to bring the two together. And this works really well, and from the reveal, seeing it and then actually using it, it puts a smile on your face to see, like, no, this thing actually works really well, especially after the patch that came out after the fact that made it even more fluid. So shout out to them for nailing the multitasking bit and the fluidity of the OS. In terms of the UI, it looks very familiar if you've ever seen a Windows Phone or Windows 8. They're going with these tiles, although they're not live, and I wish they were live. You've got these tiles, and you got this 3. How would you say it? Your home screen is divided into 3 categories. In the middle is home, where you get your most used things. You got your friends list. You got recently launched apps. You got party, snap, just the real system. The system orientated shortcuts you would want to use and functionality. And then off to the left, you've got pins. So pins are where you can designate an application to appear on the home screen because you think it's important for you. If you're going to launch it a lot, well, you pin it to the home screen. Say, for instance, Battlefield. I play that nonstop. I play Forza nonstop. I pin them to the home screen. So instead of going to the games and apps menu, I just go to the left where my pins are, and boom, easy access. And then off to the right, you've got the store. Now, the store includes your apps, it includes your games, music, and movies and TV. So it's nice to have everything separated, and you can go in there and filter through what you want, your games, your movies, whatever. The UI and the layout of the home screen is really simplistic, and it just works. And I've heard some feedback with people saying, well, yeah, this is cool and all, but what about the premium themes? Can I get a background? Can I get a picture in the background instead of just black? We've been complaining about that on Windows Phone for a while. They just let us change it in Windows 8. I don't know if they'll let us do it on the Xbox. Reason being, it may appear too busy, but some people don't care. They just want what they want in the background. But we'll see. Certainly, I hope Microsoft is considering it. Give people what they want. Always keeps them happy. But how could you talk about the Xbox One without the Kinect, right? So the Kinect on its own is a very powerful product. This thing is so crazy. It could read your heart rate. It could recognize your fingers, and that's huge for the fitness crowd. And the Xbox fitness stuff is really dope with a lot of the celebrity trainers they offer in there, so on and so forth. That stuff's dope. But just to connect in a way it interacts with your face and the profiles, like you step in front to connect it realizes your face, it knows you're there. So if there's more than one person, you can say show my stuff, it knows who said that, and it'll switch to your profile, which is really dope. And it knows who's using what controller. When you first turn it on, it doesn't sign in, but if it sees your face, it will sign in. I really like the usefulness of how Microsoft is putting this Kinect to use. And then you've got the voice commands. You say Xbox, and then there's a litany of commands you can do. You can do everything from turn the system on and off to just navigating the UI and launching different apps, launching different games. You can snap different parties. I really think Kinect is just as powerful in the overall bundle as the Xbox itself. And I was really happy to see Microsoft make that decision to make it a core part of the experience. That's something that, one, it'll pay off in us for the long run because developers will take it more seriously. and two, it allows them to just get feedback on the product. The more people use it, the more feedback they get, and the better they can make it. That's just the way it is. Now you've got the new party system where people are actually complaining about, because it replaces it sort of replaces friends and invites and the beacons all in one. Check out the video that I'm linking you to, where I explain how that works. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but it could still use some more improvement. I get it now. I see how it works, and after the patch, it works a lot better, where it automatically sends invites. You don't have to do it anymore. But there's certain scenarios where you wouldn't want that to happen, or you just didn't account for what's going on and how people are using the Surface. But day one, this is version 1.1, so you can expect them to evolve it over time. Then you've got things like the record that feature, where the game is constantly buffering 5 minutes back of what you do. So a simple connect command to record that will record 60 seconds, which you can then go into the upload studio and cut it up, do your voiceover. You can even add picture in picture with your connect, and then you can upload it to your friends feed and SkyDrive, and then share it with the world. That's super dope. The friends feed I mentioned, another dopeness. It gives you constant feed of videos your friends uploaded, achievements they unlocked, who's playing what. They strengthen the ecosystem and what gamers are doing on the Xbox itself. Not to mention, you've got the whole smart glass experience, where you can connect your tablet, you can connect your phone, control the Xbox, you can use a keyboard and to type. It's so many different angles here that Microsoft tackled the innovation. And then there's the feature people made fun of, which is a TV. Now for me, the best part of that was to be able to control all my devices on the Xbox. When I come in and I say Xbox on, it turns on my TV, it turns on my receiver, and it turns on the Xbox. I don't need to do anything else. That's so dope to me. I don't have cable because I cut the cord, but for those who do, I understand the experience is 50-50, meaning depending on your provider or your ISP, well, it is provider, sorry. Depending on your provider, you can get like overlays from the cable box. And from what I've been reading, it is really ugly, yes, but people are willing to live with that because of how promising the service is. And Microsoft will now have to go out and work with these different manufacturers to get this stuff squared away. So it's still early, and it takes time for them to get it all together. In terms of what this thing launched with, the games of Forza 5 is a strong title. Killer Instinct is strong. Dead Rising solid. They are on top of the regular cross-platform games. Everyone's enjoying the Madden, the NBA, the Battlefield, the Call of Duties. I think now people are starting to realize, no, this is still a game console, but you get the added benefit of all these other innovations. And it puts a lot of people at ease. I mean, they sold 2 million and counting, which was the way, if you fed into the media and the pundits and what they were pushing, you would never think this thing was selling. But it just goes to show that, no, that people out there know what they want. People out there still very much clued in. And it's interesting to see how that all played out. Now, what you get for $500 versus the $400 price point from the competition, is it worth it? Yes, it is worth it. Like I said, there's a ton of innovation that you get here aside from a console. And there's a lot to feed into here, right? There's the resolution wars, there's the paywall with Xbox Live, but it never ends. And then from my angle, you go back and say, yeah, there's a 50% failure rate, and you guys don't have like, it's just silly back and forth. But the point here is, there should be no console war, because this particular side of it, the Xbox One, is an excellent console. It's an excellent piece of technology. It's an excellent addition to your living room. And I'm sure the PlayStation is like that in their world, and that's okay. But I really want to get across to everyone that you should stop making the comparison. You should stop trying to rate the Xbox from a 1 to a 5. And no, this thing is out. Microsoft delivered what they say they would deliver and so much more. And the future is looking bright for a purchase like this. I am overly happy with the Xbox One. I am thrilled with the new features like the voice control. Even if it's a little quirky, I am completely thrilled with the uploading of the clips and editing and how easy that is. It just reassures me that my $500 was not spent for something that was like what I owned 6 years ago. I feel like I spent $500 for something completely new and something completely worthwhile. So yeah, like I said in the beginning, the reason I skipped on a lot of details is because we've got the unabridged version of the review. Here's the annotation. There's going to be links to it below if you don't see annotations you're watching on whatever YouTube client. But check that out. And then I'm also splitting that up into the different section of features, so you can, just keep an eye out. If you got any questions, hit me in the comments below or comment on those individual videos, and we'll get back at you. So yeah, it's your boy Ramon. I'm out of here. Peace.